Hey guys, welcome back. End of the month means more escalation, and boy is it getting good. This month brings us part 2 of the Absolute Record story arc, and I'm happy to say that the story does pick up. So let's not waste any time and dive right in. This is Halo Escalation, issue 20. The comic picks up, as usual, where the last one left off. The portal to the Absolute Record has opened up, but in the process damaged 3 of Joel's ships and damaged others. As one might guess, Joel ain't too happy, and he takes it out on Halsey. Seems like the relationship between these two might be going through a rough patch. In the hangar bay of Breath of Annihilation and what remains of their original Phantom, the Spartans, Glassman, and Ayit start to work out what to do next. Ayit has a plan to go ahead and secure a new Phantom in a nearby hangar bay, with the humans following shortly after. Ayit tells the Spartans to stick to Covenant weapons, hoping to leave as little a trace of the human presence as possible, then heads out. Once out of the damaged Phantom, Ayit releases some smoke bomb-like grenades to give the humans more cover. Inside the damaged Phantom, Palmer is counting down from 60 as Ayit had requested. However, Glassman hits his head on what is likely part of the collapsed ceiling and faints. With Glassman out and the buildup of smoke threatening his life, the Spartans have little choice but to forego the rest of the countdown and head out. It seems they left just in time as their Phantom explodes behind them. I think. Anyway, the Spartans try to use the smoke and chaos for cover, but the former is messing with their motion trackers. Thorn activates his Promethean vision to reveal a shit ton of enemies, one bearing down on Tanaka. Thorn takes it out and a firefight ensues. Interestingly, it seems the Spartans can now carry 2 armor abilities at once, seeing as Thorn just used Promethean Vision and is now using a hard light shield. Perhaps the PV upgrade is now standard across Mjolnir platforms, much like the thrusters. So as the fighting continues, an elite bears down on Palmer who, with the aid of her own hard light shield, somehow forces the alien soldier to stab himself with his own energy sword. Wow, good to see that Joel is hiring only the best of the best of the best. Sir. So with the hangar seemingly clear, the Spartans start to wonder where the hell Ayit is. That's when a Wraith shows up to wreck their shit. Thankfully, Ayit is loyal to his paycheck and shows up with a Phantom just in time to blow the tank away. As they board, Glassman is just waking up. Oh really? He's just waking up. Guy must have some amazing instincts since when he's out he was raising his arms in a defensive manner. Anyway, with the Spartans and Glassman on board, the group has little choice but to head for Song of Retribution, Joel's flagship. On board, it seems Halsey and Joel have made some minor amends, though Joel is still understandably irate. Halsey is able to calm him down with promises of what the Absolute Record will hold, such as technology capable of destroying and building entire universes. Seems the Absolute Record is actually a precursor artifact. Either that or somebody missed this little line during the editing process since, last I checked, the precursors are the only intergalactic beings we know of. The Forerunners were barely masters of the galaxy, let alone the whole universe. I guess you could chalk this up to Halsey playing Joel, but the line still bothers me. It shows a fundamental misunderstanding of what Forerunners were capable of. Moving forward, Halsey continues to show that she is ultimately playing Joel, noting that, with everything the Absolute Record holds, Joel himself could be perceived as a god. In one of Song's hangar bays, Ayit informs the Spartans and Glassman that only Song of Retribution will head through the portal. This seems all well and good until Glassman points out that they still need to get in contact with Oni somehow. After a bit of discussion, it's decided that Ayit and Thorn will head back to Breath of Annihilation while Palmer, Tanaka, and Glassman remain on Song of Retribution. Ayit and Thorn will try to contact Oni, while the others work to stop Joel and Halsey. As Ayit and Thorn head back to Annihilation, they discover that word is spreading about possible Spartan sightings, though thankfully they're mostly regarded as rumors at this point. More interesting is that 2 prisoners are also being transferred from Song of Retribution, one of them being the traitor Salih Neon. Now I'll be honest, I'm glad to see that we're not done with Salih yet. For all of my mocking, I did enjoy Salih's presence in the Janice Key story arc. It's fun to see other Sangheili with their own ambitions, and I can't wait to see what sort of havoc he may wreak if turned loose. How fun would it be if, upon returning from the Absolute Record, Joel found that Annihilation was now under the control of Salih Neon and they had to duke it out? Anyway, onboard Song, word of Spartan infiltration has reached Joel's ears as well. Halsey notes that it's too late, however, since any support they might be able to call in would be unable to follow. Song of Retribution heads through the slipspace portal, and we find ourselves at the Absolute Record. A mysterious voice makes note of the approaching ship, scanning it. Naturally, it detects the human presence. The final scene is of a mendicant bias-leg monitor noting the Reclaimers have arrived. So, that is Escalation issue 20, and boy, what an issue. We're finally at the Absolute Record, and shit is about to get serious. Meanwhile, Ayit and Thorn will have to work through their differences while trying to get in contact with Oni and raising who knows what sort of havoc, especially if Salih Neon is involved. As much as I'm interested in that, I do hope we get more focus on the Absolute Record since, well, it's the absolute record. But anyway, on to the real question. Who is this monitor? Who could it be? It's clearly not Mendican bias despite the similar chassis. Mendican is still locked away on the Ark as far as we know, and his 3 eyes have always been described as either orange or green. This monitor's eyes are 3 different colors, and I can't help but wonder if that's indicative of something. Personally, I get the feeling this might be offensive bias. We never knew the fate of the Meta-Ark class AI who ultimately defeated Mendican bias, and putting him in charge of something like the absolute record does make quite a bit of sense. Of course, this monitor could turn out to be an entirely new character, which, sadly, seems more likely. Still, we can hope. Well, that does it for this issue. The next several issues will see the Spartans duking it out with Jewel, Halsey, and their forces for control of the absolute record. More interestingly, the cover to issue 23 would seem to indicate that we might encounter the Librarian AI again. I don't think any hardcore lore fans thought she'd pair us with Requiem, and I can't wait to see what she has to say, especially if she learns who Halsey is working with. Well, that's all for today. I'm working on reviews of both Saint's Testimony and, after 4 freaking months, Spartan Strike. Look forward to both of these over the weekend or early next week. Until then, this has been Halo Canon. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, and sharing it around. You are the reason I get to keep doing this, so thank you, profusely thank you. If you want to dive deeper into Halo's lore, head over to the Halo Archive.